Hey, Sam.
Hey.
Hey. All right. So, survived a couple weeks. Been a busy week. My real life work jobs, yeah, they've kept me busy. They kept me hopping the last couple of weeks. So,
Yeah, you
but
were doing quite a bit of traveling, weren't you?
I did down to Miami, down to Orlando, and mind you, I am here in Florida. So when I say down to Miami, down to Florida, it wasn't that long of a trek as compared to if I was coming in from, let's say, California
Hmm.
or anything like that. Um, I still had to go down there for the weeks.
Yeah,
But they were good work weeks. They were very
that's
good.
good.
It's a good breakup coming to the end of the calendar year, coming into the final quarter. So it's good to get out of the standard rut of the daily
Yeah,
job. So,
yeah.
but in while I was away, I did have an opportunity to go on another adventure up to JRieger,
It's surprise.
up to Kansas City. I did interview them there, and we'll show that here in a little bit. But we have a much I don't want to say a live interview with Prav Sarraf, the guy in charge of Dream Spirits, the one that worked with Big Mike's Bourbon, Mike Rowland, for his Rolling Reserve Bourbon Fest to come up with the. Let me get the bottles. Here we go. The Dream Spirits. You got the 95.5 rye, got the 50/50 little book blend. That's coming up, and he's going to talk about how he got involved and all of that. At least I hope he does. That was what we talked about on the phone yesterday, so I hope he does. And then, after that, then we'll go into another adventure that Michael had.
All right.
All right?
Sounds good.
So, tell you what, let's get Prav on the phone. Let's get him
All
on the
right.
line. All right?
All right. Sounds
All
good.
right.
All right.
All right. So, welcome back, everybody. Let me introduce you to a very important man. Let me get the right hand here because my screen's mirrored. This is Prav Sarraf. He is working with Mike Rowland, Rowland Reserve Bourbon Festival. He is the owner of Dream Spirits, where if you know Mike's products, the bottles he's been selling lately, one's a 95.5 rye, this is a 50/50 on two different little books. So let me start the real quick, easy question for you, Prav. How did you get involved?
I got really blessed. A friend of our mutual friend of Mike and mine introduced us just to say, hey, this is a friend of mine named Mike, and he's doing some barrel picks recently, and his barrel picks have got some good momentum. He's got a good following, and he would love to speak to you because he's interested in doing some things with Dream Spirits potentially.
Okay.
We get that type of a request a few times a day or a few times a week right now.
I'm sure you do.
Great problem to have, obviously. Uh, but then we kind of almost vet the people, if that makes sense, right? Because you're going to come out and spend a couple of days with us and do some barrel picks. We want to make sure that actually leads in barrel purchases, if you would.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
With Mike, we were able to skip that process or that step of the process just because of the friend that introduced us. Like, I know that if
Was it Kevin?
it was Kevin, exactly.
Okay.
I know
Okay.
that if Mike is being brought to the table by somebody like Kevin, then Kevin has already kind of vetted Mike and knows that Mike is serious. So I did what we normally do whenever we're talking to somebody to gauge their interest in the barrel picks, which is I give them a call and I tell them a little bit about the brand. I tell them a little bit about the story because they may or may not know it. Tell them a little bit about our process at our barrel picks and kind of what differentiates us, how we think we've built the most unparalleled barrel picking experience in the country, and see if it's still potentially something of interest to them. And I got to tell you, like, I walked away from that phone call being so impressed with Mike. I got home and I was telling my wife, I was like, I met my spirit animal. Like, this guy is like, I was like telling her, he was the coolest person ever because like everything Mike spoke about was about doing for others.
Mm-hmm.
And that's such a rare, it's sad that it's a rare characteristic these days, but it's a really rare
Yeah.
characteristic to talk to someone who doesn't want to talk about themselves, doesn't want to talk about what they're doing or the brand that they're building or the momentum they've got. It's all, yeah, the momentum's cool, but that just means we get to help more people.
Right.
And that was like
Right.
so refreshing to see. That I told Mike, I was like, I need you to get here like immediately. And that was that. I mean, I would say like it has been a snowball effect ever since.
Yeah. Yeah, he
That's
came.
awesome.
He's really big on social media, as I'm sure you're aware.
Yep.
There's a bunch of guys that I normally go on TikTok lives with, as well as Sam. But we also have our own individual groups. But he came on and joined us, and he just told us a story about that little girl who, didn't want her parents to get upset or see her suffer. She was more concerned about her parents than herself. Every guy, and Sam, by the way, Sam,
I'm sorry, I have a very, very busy household.
that's okay. It's okay. Had the entire live absolutely in tears. And these were 8 grown men in addition to Mike.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, he had all of us hooked. I immediately invited him onto our show. We did a couple interviews with him already. Yeah, it's just, he's an amazing individual. So I can understand how you felt as though you found your spirit animal there. Yeah.
It was really cool. There are certain people, Michael, you meet in life and immediately, the synergy is there.
Right.
Like I'm a big energy guy. I'm a big vibe
Yes.
guy. And like, I could tell like right away, like this guy and I are going to be on the same page. Like I could just tell like within probably, 100 seconds of speaking to him.
Right. Okay. So Mike Kevin showed up. He's told the story a couple times, how the barrels got picked and how the 50-50 little book here, also known as Big Book now, Mike's Big Book here, that came to be. But how did you guys figure out which barrels you wanted to taste from right off the bat? How did you guys come to that point?
So I tell people when they come to Dream Spirits, Michael, that, we want to be in the business of saying yes. That's something that's super important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means to me is if you're in the rick house with me and we're playing around with some barrels, and if you have an idea that you think is cool or fun or unique, as long as it's legal, and it's,
that is kind of important. Yeah.
That's an important one. Exactly. And it's either fun or cool, I'm going to say yes. So Mike and I just walked the rick house. And I told him, I said, this is what's aging here. This is what's aging here. We've got our rick house kind of separated by different SKUs, if you would, right? Different mash, different distilleries, and then by age. So I walked him around and I showed him everything. And I said, what seems interesting to you? What do you want to try? We were talking earlier about how, we're trying to build a program that's a little bit different than everybody else's. Part of that is the fact that if you're coming in for a barrel pick, you get a house that we have that's on property where the rick house is, where the tasting room is. So you're 100 yards from your house and you're 20 yards from the tasting room to the rick house. So you can just go back and forth, right? So what Mike and I decided is let's just start with something, whatever that something is. I want to say it might have been 9-year Russell's Reserve, if my memory serves me correctly.
Okay.
So pick 3 of these and then let's take them to the rick house and try them and see where we are. Let's wet our palates a little. Let's sit down. Let's talk about what you want to achieve. And then let's come back in the rick house and do it again. And then we'll keep coming back as often as we need to in order to find what is the perfect fit for you. Right. And eventually one of the things that we landed on was this Booker's that you're trying. And I want to say, and please don't quote me on it, Mike and Kevin may remember better, but I want to say we drilled into 4. Yeah, exactly. The Big Mike blend. I want to say we drilled into 4 of those Booker samples, and all of them were tasty, which made the job a little bit more difficult, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then we really narrowed it down to 2. And the problem, if you would, Michael, was one had like a really, really good flavor kind of up front and then lacked a little bit on the finish. And the other had a really, really cool, long, unique finish that would just literally go on for minutes, it seemed like. And one was like a little more sweet forward and the other was a little spice forward. And then it was either Mike or his son, I forget who, while we were tasting them, just literally just took their glasses and just poured them into another glass. And it was like, well, we're saying this is really good in the front and this is really good on the finish. So let's just see what it's like when we put them together. And then when they did, it was like, whoa, like this is fun. It was like interesting.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
really cool. Then we did it blind just because we were like, hey, we want to be able to recreate that, right? As you know, like each barrel's output is different. So we were like, we're going to keep it a 50-50 blend so that we can recreate this exact blend that we're going to taste now. And then we're going to have a little bit left over from one of the barrels, and I'll just drink it or do whatever we want to do with the rest of it from that barrel. But then we also wanted to make sure we weren't just in love with the idea of that blend. So
Right.
then we blinded it against two of the other bookers.
The other two.
And when we did that, it was like clear as day, like that blend was superior. Nobody knew which was which except for me because I was the one that poured out the blind for everybody. But everybody was like, whatever this one is by far superior. And it ended up being the blend.
Wow,
Okay.
that's an awesome
Yeah.
story.
Yeah,
it was
that is
great.
good. So, with Mike's festival that he's got going on, I know you're going to be visiting as well, correct? I
I'm
believe so.
99.9% sure. I told him my only potential problem is that I do have a family commitment that weekend, and he was gracious
Oh,
enough to say, "Bring your whole family with you." But I told him, "Look, I'm an Indian guy. And my whole family with me is like a pack of 20, right? Like we're not like oh me and my wife.
right, right.
So that may not be easily doable. But I just saw Mike a couple of weeks ago, and I told him, I said, I'm trying my very best to be there. Unfortunately, I won't know if I definitely can be there or not until about a week. Again, he's been super gracious. He's got a table reserved for me, or seat reserved for me, rather, if I am able to. And in a few days, we'll finalize that.
Okay.
Awesome.
And he mentioned that you also donated another barrel for the auction or for the VIP ticket holders to see and buy a
So
bottle out of.
we're gonna do some fun things. I don't know what he wants me to talk about.
Yeah.
Doesn't want me to talk about because I don't know what all he has announced. To be very frank with you, but we're gonna do some fun things at the charity for sure. We want to make sure, just like everybody else in that room, we want to make sure we can maximize the amount of dollars that are raised that
Absolutely.
night
Yeah.
for that family who, in all honesty, I feel like it's not just the money, but they really could use all our blessings, our thoughts, our prayers, everything to be transferred over to them.
Absolutely.
And I know that's going to be everybody's goal that night. With that being said, yes, there are a couple of fun things that, Mike and I have worked on and are working on.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what I'm at liberty to share.
Right.
Well, he did share that. I believe it's another barrel. It's a 95.5 rye. It's a higher proof 95.5 rye, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I could tell you one other fun thing that we're doing for that night. And if he gets upset at me, he gets upset at me. No big deal. We'll figure it out.
Hey, he's been sharing everything, Prav.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that to get secrets out of you.
No, exactly. No worries. Listen, I told you, I think yesterday when we very briefly chatted, my favorite types of secrets are the ones that are revealed. So no.
There you go.
Mine too.
Yeah, there you go. Cheers. So to the thought of us wanting to say yes, we really let anybody do anything in the Rick House, again, as long as it meets those requirements that we discussed earlier. If you go back a few months, I had the idea in the shower of wanting to create a product that nobody else in the market, literally, that I had ever seen had done. There are plenty of boo ryes in the market, like High West has one where they blend a bourbon and a rye, and a few other distilleries tried it. Wild Turkey tried it with their Forgiven.
Right.
But nobody has ever let you, as a consumer, come in and buy a single barrel of bourbon and then a single barrel of rye, both barrels that you select, and then marry them together to make a boo rye. So I was like, we should do that because nobody does this. I wanted to play around with it. And we've got, our blank slate of being able to do kind of, again, whatever we really want. So we wanted to do this. We couldn't call it a boo rye because High West owns that term. They've got a trademark on it. So we called ours a rye bun, right? Half rye, half bourbon.
Okay.
And Mike and I were talking about this when we were at the Rick House that day. And if you remember, I was telling you, we started the day by tasting some 9-year Russell's Reserve.
Mhm.
Right.
One of those was very, very tasty. We just thought it needed a little oomph on the finish, a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a touch more oakiness and a touch more spice. Then one of the things we eventually tasted, I think we must have gone through 20 plus barrels that day when we were doing it. One of the things we eventually got around to was 95.5 rye from MGP. Exactly. One of those was picked that you've got here.
Yeah. By the way, she will attest to this. Hold on, let me get the right hand here. Okay, she will attest to this that this is my favorite by
Yes,
far.
Thank
it
you.
is.
By far.
It is.
I think it was such a special barrel. So we obviously, when we tasted that, we were like, well, that one is put aside because that's definitely being bottled. I told Mike straight up, I said, if you don't buy this for the festival, I'm going to buy it and bottle it for my store and sell it because it was that good.
Dang.
Then there was this other barrel, another 95.5 rye that we liked that was really, really tasty, but it kind of fell short in comparison to this by itself. And then when we were doing our mad scientist thing, we again took the Russells that we had and then took this MGP rye that we had and 50-50 mixed them together to make a rye blend. And that alone would be like super cool because nobody I know of ever has blended a 9-year Russells with, I forget, it was like 8 or 9-year MGP rye. Like nobody I know has ever done that. So that alone would be super cool. But like, if you know Big Mike, he doesn't just settle for just super cool. He's got to like exceed that.
Got to take it up. Yeah.
Exactly. So then we actually took that blend, and since, I don't know, the last 4 or 5 months or so, I forget the exact timeline, we've been actually aging it further to make it in a double oak toasted new Kelvin barrel. So it'll be a double oak toasted rye blend, which I'm 99.999% sure has never been done before. And that bottle will be, you know, debuted or released or whatever at the festival. We've done one other similar barrel since, but I told that I said, I'm not releasing yours until after this festival because I want Mike to have the first one just because it's important to me for that to be like kind of released at the festival and hopefully generate a lot more buzz and a lot more funds can be raised at the festival using that barrel.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, because it'll be a one and only.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. As well, one and only on the provision that we're able to buy more than one there at the festival.
Yes.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, like, you know, the concept is
right.
It's the true one of one blend.
Yes, it's the birth of it.
Yes.
That's huge.
Okay. Yeah. So you were talking about your brick house and how you go and do all these picks and everything, but I mean, and that's your Dream Spirits that you have. Okay. But you also run a store and a bar as well there in Washington, D.C., correct?
That's right, exactly. So we've got a store that our background is we're retailers. We're liquor store owners, operators, whatever. We've been that for 30 plus years in the city. When I say we, I mean my father and I, my father who started it in 95. Been working in the industry since probably 89, I would say. I tell people I grew up in the industry. I was working in a liquor store since before I had facial hair, when I was 15, before it was legal for me to do so. Mm-hmm. And we've been able to create this kind of really cool niche within the industry of like really, really high end, really, really fine and rare wines and spirits. And that's kind of the niche that we own. I would like to think that we are one of the more well recognized in our space, not just in DC, but in the country and potentially in the world. Like, when you think 4-figure, 5-figure, 6-figure bottles, I would like to think we're one of the first stores that you generally think of.
Okay.
And then recently we opened a bar in DC that's super small, curated, very elevated, really nice touches, very nice finishes, small space, but something that really drives attention to the individual consumer that comes in. And everything there is done with intent. Mm-hmm. We just got tired of going out in DC and just kind of going to a regular bar. So my friends and I were like, we're just going to build our own. And if it does well, great. If not, then we've got a clubhouse we can hang out at.
There you go.
Nice.
That's a lot like awesome. Marsha down in St. Pete. Okay. That is kind of cool. All right. I know your bar has been seen on a couple other social media personalities channels. I won't give out the names. Nothing against them, nothing against you guys, but trying to keep things level here. But no, that's and a lot of great content was done and got to really see your place, and it looks really, really nice. It looks very almost speakeasy-ish, I will say.
Yeah, exactly. So the thought was to marry some sort of like a tavern from the late 1700s with like a speakeasy from Prohibition with like a modern bar from today that you might find in like Hong Kong or Singapore or something, and
Right.
marry those three things together.
Okay. But yeah, I was watching the videos and I'm like, yeah, that looks nice. So next time up, as I mentioned to you yesterday, I'm originally from Northern Virginia.
Yep.
And I more than likely going to be heading up there sometime during Thanksgiving or one of the holidays. So I will have to take a metro ride up to DC and go visit your place.
Please do that. Yeah. We would love that. It would be an honor to have a couple of drinks with you in person.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
so we're kind of coming to the time frame that I told you that we would be at.
Yep.
So is there anything that you want to share with us, bestow upon us in regards to the festival that Mike's doing, just as a, an encouragement or whatever have you? Is there anything that just comes to mind that you're like, this really needs to be said?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, like, what I tell my friends all the time, that no amount is too small, no amount is too big, right? Everybody has their own stories in life. Everybody has their own place in life. Some can give more, some can give less. If you're someone who feels like, oh, I don't know if I can afford to buy this bottle right now because times are rough, you can give $5, give $5. And if you can afford to give 100 or 200 or 500 or 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever, then do that. It's really seems silly, but like, to me, it's very rewarding to be able to do something for others. And it's almost in a weird way kind of selfish as well, because it's just like you're buying good karma for yourself. Right. So, like, if that's the motivation you need, then great, use that. But I mean, this little girl really could use all the blessings, all the thoughts. For those that can't give money, then, spend energy sending positive healing vibes to her, and, vibes to her family to say, we hope that not only you get through this, but you get through it together and stronger than you are now. And hopefully you come out in a better place. I tell people, God brought you to it. He'll bring you through it. You just got to make sure that, you kind of help fight the fight. You can't be ignorant to the signs given along the way, to the people that are saying, do your part, to the people that are saying, do what you can.
Yeah. Agreed. So, all right. Well, Sam, did you have any questions for him?
No, I'm just here to listen.
Rob, greatly appreciate it that you're willing to take time out of your busy schedule, speak to us on this. I hope you are able to make it, bring your entire family. I know the hotel space down there is going to be very tight with the number of people flying in. I'm going to be out there at Rockport, out on the beach. That's where I had to stay. Hopefully you can still find a place to stay. A man with your means, you might be able to just say, hey, I'm buying your house for the weekend. Go on vacation somewhere.
Well, listen, Michael, worst case scenario, if I don't find a space to stay, I'm just crashing on your couch. So I'm not worried about that.
There you go.
Hey, I've given people open invitations. I really have. It's just like, hotel space is going to be good. It's there. So crash if you need to.
That's very kind of you. To be honest with you, that's the least of my concerns, because there are such good friends of mine that are coming that I know I could just be like, you sleep on the couch, I'm sleeping on your bed. But I really do hope I can make it, because not only do I want to be there, but I think it would also be good to celebrate what Mike has done. And I mean, you've seen it. It's taken a lot of time, effort, and money, in all honesty, to put this together. And he invested all three. Our most valuable assets to me are always our time and our money. And Mike is freely spending both to do as much as he can for his family.
Yes, he is. So, all right. Again, thank you, sir. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you guys having me. I thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for doing what you are, spreading the word about, Mike's cause and trying to raise more awareness, raise more funds. And it really means a lot to everybody. And I appreciate you guys so much.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. All right. That man is a gem.
He is so sweet. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That's it.
And he's funny too.
He is.
I like that.
Yeah. He is. He's oh man, he's genuine. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So
you don't find many people like that.
No, you don't. Yeah, we were
nice.
lucky to get him. I am very grateful for his time. Yeah, I hope he does make it. I hope he does. And if I've got to sleep on the couch and he takes over the hotel room bed, so be it. That'll be fine too. There, Prav. Just saying.
Right.
Now, mind you, if you come with 20 people, that might be a little bit more difficult. But anyhow, so I didn't get that big of a room. He needs a whole floor on the hotel. So he's going to kick everybody out, and we're going to go sleep on the beach. Is what's going to happen. Hopefully,
you are. Yeah, you're beach bums.
That's right. So, but anyhow, hey, let's talk about my little adventure I had up to Kansas City.
Let's.
Yes.
Okay.
So, for those that don't know what JRieger is, JRieger is a distiller. They make different types of whiskeys, as well as rum and vodka and gin, if I'm not mistaken. Most small distillers do, because they do have the leftover ingredients, and that all feeds right into the other alcohols. But they do bourbons, they do Kansas City whiskey, and when I went up there, I met with Ryan Mady, who is a co-founder of the modern day JRieger. I won't get into all of the history associated with JRieger now. When I play the video of the interview, he'll explain it all to you. And again, another wonderful man. Oh, he loves the history. He loves talking about speakeasies. He loves the Prohibition era and how that all melded into everything, as well as some other name brands that people know across the country that is a descendant of JRieger.
Okay.
So, and we will get into that here in just a little bit. But before I do that, Sam, I know you've seen this video already. I did a quick little video of some time I spent over at JRieger. They had this area inside their distiller called the Heritage Center. It's a great big open room, and they just have walls and walls and walls of history. And I'm not talking just on the outside walls. They have these stand-up walls that they brought in. You know how we have shelves like this here? Well, to stand up, well, they did walls like this. And it just got plaques and plaques and plaques of information. They also have an old horse buggy, because back in the day, that's how they used to transport the original JRieger whiskey.
Okay.
So, anyhow, let me share this video real quick.
Okay. What on earth, Mike? Really? Like, are you a grown man child or what?
Well, you know that new Sabrina Carpenter song, Man Child? My wife sent video of me to her. She wrote the song. It was about me.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Seriously, dude. And who even took that video? Because I don't believe your wife was there, right?
No, she wasn't.
Who took that video?
I believe her name was Sarah. She was the lady behind the desk. And, you know, as you walk into JRieger, you go in up this sidewalk and through the main entrance. There's someone there to greet you, to sell you the tours that they have, or and she saw, hey, do you want to go down a slide? And I'm like, sure. And she's like, do you want to record it for you? I was like, sure.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Lord, I bet that was fun, though. Like, honestly.
It was.
That was fun.
It was. You know, I had to yell down because I'm on the second floor and it's a really high building. And I had to yell down and say, okay, on the count of three, I'm taking off. 1, 2, 3. And she recorded, and she got all the times my boot hit the slide, the metal slide. And yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like you had fun.
It was fun. By the way, this is Jay. Okay, so before we get into the video, if you guys haven't seen this before, the private stock from JRieger, it's something from Total Wine & More in the local Kansas City regional area, Kansas, Missouri. I don't think it's in any other states, I don't believe, but I know I sent you a handshake. We were talking about that just a few moments ago. It'll arrive tomorrow. This is good. This is good. It's their normal whiskey, Kansas City whiskey that they have, that they finished off in stout barrels.
Oh.
Yeah, and who is it? It's Manhattan, hold on, Brewing Company. I don't know if that's I don't think that's the local Kansas City brewing. It may actually be from Manhattan, Kansas.
I think that's the first time I've ever heard of anything being finished in a stout barrel.
Really? Well, it is very delicious. It's got a nice, I'll be honest with you, that whiskey with the stout, it does have a nice cigar taste.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
excited. I can't wait for it to get here.
Yeah, as I'm drinking it in front of you.
I know, right?
Okay. So, without further ado, and I'm going to give you guys a fair warning. Not sure how this happened, and I do apologize, but the audio on this recording is not the best. I don't know what happened. I really don't. When I first uploaded it, everything sounded great. I went back to do the edits.
Huh.
Yeah, and I went back to the original file again. I think maybe it was just the upload from the original camera itself. Maybe that's where it happened. I don't know. But the interview is still amazing. Ryan, thank you very much for your time and the fact that you took time out of your day to do this. And I truly do appreciate it. You are a wealth of knowledge, my friend. And I wish you all the very best. With JRieger, you have amazing, amazing product. But anyhow, without further ado, let's play it. Hey guys, I'm here with Ryan May, one of the co-founders of JRieger. Sam and I were just talking about JRieger 2 seconds ago. But he's the guy who got together with great grandson of Jacob Rieger, the original J of JRieger, and said, hey, let's revise this, give it a rebirth, and that was what, back in 2012, right? 2010 when we met. Okay. Really started. Okay. So, Ryan, like I said, what we're trying to do is understand the history of JRieger and how, before prohibition actually was nationwide, like, Kansas had their first one like 81, they did their own state pride, which helped a lot of people come across the state line. And then, what, 39 years later, 18th Amendment, National Act, nothing did nationwide. So, tell us about, I know you're a really deep history buff, JRieger and the Prohibition. What can you tell us more?
Well, with regard to that era, the early days of prohibition, the temperance movement was in full swing for many decades.
Right.
Before prohibition actually came. Yeah. It was most strong in the years.
Okay.
Prior to federal prohibition, it's kind of kept gaining steam. But it was really, like you said, 1881 that Kansas, the state of Kansas, became the first state that legalizes statewide prohibition.
Right.
Banning all the sale and distribution transport of it. And the interesting thing about that, why that is such a beautiful history is that Kansas City at the time, in the late, it's called the late 1870s, early 1880s, we had just built one of the largest train stations in the country called
Right.
Down in the West Bottoms. And so at that point, there was a lot of westward migration, people moving out towards the coast, and headed that direction. You had to go to Kansas City. You had to go to the train station, even if you were on the West Bottoms as you were headed west. So Kansas City was already kind of a booming, Midwestern town. It was already starting to grow. In fact, I know that when they bought the union in 1878, there was a lot of criticism of it saying it was too big. They actually referred to it as the insane asylum because they were raising people in the train station this large. This little river town, right? Well, within a few years, the problem was already so you've already got all these people coming through Kansas City, traveling through Kansas City in that neighborhood, when the geography of Kansas City overlapped with the states. And we state line, right, extending south on the river. The river is the boundary for most of it, and then where the river turns, the road comes out the state line. Kansas City, Missouri. And if you're walking around down in that neighborhood at that time, all those businesses, it was really hard to, even today, it's hard to differentiate if you're not familiar with the neighborhood. Like, well, am I in Kansas or am I in Missouri? Right. I don't really know. Right. But it really became clear in Kansas made a real leap of train. And because all of a sudden, I'm on Kansas, I'm like, all right, I'm going up there. Let's go across the street. Right. And so that whole area got flooded with people, coming back from the Kansas side of the state line, and that stretch of Genesee Street, which was one block into Missouri from state line, that whole stretch became known as the Devil's Block Road because it just exploded with many businesses. So, saloons, casinos, and brothels, and eventually a distillery. And we believe that JRieger ended up in Kansas City in the early to mid 1880s. Okay, so like right after this time, right during this time period. Right. And he actually started as a grocer, which was actually kind of a common thing back then. Grocers have their own whiskey or spirits around the country. So with the popularity of that neighborhood, JRieger right on Genesee Street, our whiskey business was born in 1887. Right. During the height of that whole era, and really huge business. And so we kind of benefited from the popularity of the neighborhood. For drinking culture, but also people moving out westward, passing through and taking bottles on their journey out towards the west coast, and kind of spread the Rieger name around the country. Sure.
Now, I also noticed, and I've taken a lot of notes but I noticed there's a statement about JRieger being the largest mail order liquor distributor.
The exact wording is the largest mail order whiskey house in the United States. Okay. What we were calling ourselves back then.
Right. Okay. And so, everything was done by person back then. You just go ahead and start loading them all up on the trains.
So here's what we think happened. So it started in 1887 with Jacob, right? And the business grew. But by 1900, so like 13 years later, Jacob's old son Alexander took over operation of the business. Right. And we believe that it was Alexander that really helped JRieger grow nationally and become that largest mail order whiskey house in the United States. Okay. And so what we think we were doing, what we know we were doing with a lot of the artifacts that we have, we would put out these like these mailers, these order forms. We've got some on display here. We would put ads in newspapers or set flyers in the newspapers around the country, and offer these deals with people over sometimes 6 to 8 bottles at a time, and they would mail us cash here to our distillery down in the West Lines, and then we would ship them whatever it was they were up to their house. Now, exactly how they got them, I would think that after the turn of the century, in the early 1900s, probably mostly by train. But we actually do have some photographs of some horse monsters and stuff that are actually really cool. But that's really where it grew with the levels, probably in the early 1900s, leading up to Prohibition, where we saw some pretty extensive growth.
All right, so let's start. Genesee Street went from being the wettest block in the world, earning that moniker, now from 18th Amendment wholesale enacting nationwide right. Yeah. So that obviously drive up. Yeah. Except for maybe backdoor. Yeah. But what is your understanding But JRieger did not survive.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, very good. Yeah. There were a handful of facilities, you know, in Kentucky, even a couple others, that shifted into the small production. What we think happened with JRieger and Company was Alexander was really, really sharp guy, and we actually think that he saw prohibition, was expecting it to happen, and he was already starting to diversify his business prior to prohibition. First off, by building the Reader Hotel in 1950.
Okay.
So 4 years prior to prohibition, you know, after GM built flooded down the West Bottoms and Kansas City started to crawl higher ground, Union Station, which is still famous today, it's still today the second largest train station in the country after Grand Central. Alexander saw this sort of shift in geography of Kansas City, and he also saw a shift in the access popularity of train transport. Whereas, you know, prior to 1900 and early 1900s, if you traveled by train, you were probably pretty wealthy. Like, not just anyone could afford to travel by train, not just anyone could afford to stay at hotels, because every hotel was very opulent and very expensive. But with the consolidation of the steel industry and with these massive train stations being built, it opened that up to making it affordable for, you know, blue-collar workers and traveling salesmen and people like that to travel across the country by train and stay in hotels, which led to sort of the first ever budget hotel. And the Rieger Hotel was one of them. On that block of Main Street between 19th and 20th, there were 5 hotels originally that were built around that same time in 1915. And they're all known as travelers hotels. And you can see the way that they actually marketed it towards the public travel. And so Alexander saw that as an opportunity to build the Rieger Hotel in 1915 that. But he also used it at the time as a way to continue to market the Rieger whiskey brand. The mural on the south side of the building, and with in the front windows, we've got photos of the entrance to the hotel having a big display of Rieger whiskeys and products right in the front window. So he was already starting to diversify a little bit. But in addition to that, he also got into banking and finance. And so he had actually started a type of random trust based on the facility in West Bottoms. And so once prohibition actually finally happened in 1919, the distillery was immediate. And then about a year later, he sold the hotel to, I don't know who he sold to, but he changed names from the Rieger Hotel to the Lennox Hotel, probably in like 1921, 22.
What's that name still?
No, well, I mean, the word Rieger is still carved into the top of the building. It's still there. But I believe the history gets murky once you get into post-prohibition. 40s and 50s, things get a little fuzzy. But he got out of the business entirely and went into banking, and his sons, he had started a bank called Merchants Bank originally. And the original location for that is actually in the River Market, still standing today. It's now around that was the original Merchants Bank founded by Alexander Rieger, which ultimately became Mercantville.
I was wondering, because you said Mercantville. That's Mercantville.
We've got a little section of our historic exhibit over here that we talk about that little. You guys have photos of like the original building. I'm going to say one thing on that. Yeah.
What's on that?
The original Mercantville Bank building.
So, and obviously now, prohibition hit. The distillery pretty much shut down because Alexander was expecting it, he planned for it, what happened to all this stuff?
It's a really good question. You know, being that it's now we're like 116 years past.
Right.
You know, prohibition started, or 106 years past when prohibition started. Most of it's gone. I mean, when I first discovered the history of the brand, that's what I was looking for, and I was very diligent about trying to find as much as I possibly could. And surprisingly, I found a lot more than I thought. You know, mostly empty bottles, old glassware, we have advertisements that we use, lots of marketing stuff. So lots of information, but not necessarily anything actual whiskey. One of the interesting stories from that era that we still kind of cling on to the old today is about his private stock. And this so during Prohibition, what happened was that the federal government happened to send out their agents to cities around the country to bust the habit. Yeah. That meant, whiskey operators, bootleggers, that kind of thing, and they would basically swoop into town and over the newspaper would go to law and fucking listen to those and barrels and bottles on the street, But once they did that, they had to kind of they didn't have jurisdiction to prosecute them, handle the local authorities, and go back to DC. Now, Alexander Rieger, we know for a fact, stood his ground. And even though he had shut down the operation down Tennessee Street and was no longer producing any whiskey or anything, he did have a supply of whiskey that was already made in bottle and barrel that was on the premises, and the agents continuously tried to get in and confiscate and destroy the whiskey immediately. He stood up for himself and said, no, the whiskey that I have here, I made when it was legal before the law was enacted, and I'm not trying to sell it or transport it or distribute it, so you don't have jurisdiction or authority to come in and confiscate and destroy it. So the whole thing ended up going to court, ended up in federal court, and lasted 7 years. But it was in 1927 that a federal court judge actually ruled in favor of Alexander Rieger, issuing a cease and desist to the federal agents, telling them to stand down and to let Alexander Rieger keep his own private stock.
Sometimes it does pay to, take it for it.
Yeah, and part of me,
especially if it's this important.
Exactly. And part of me wonders if part of the reason that we have found so many empty bottles today is because he was able to hold on to that for as long as he did. And then eventually kind of trickled his way out into the community and made his way around. And since then, we found him all over the place. But that is kind of an interesting story about Alexander Rieger and stuff.
Yeah, that is interesting. Okay. But then, so he had no play in bootlegging or that okay. That the Kansas City has long history of Pendergrass. So okay, that's interesting that we go to speaking of speaking, well, before I jump into that, fast forward 2010, 2012, when you started talking to JRieger, were you already a history buff in JRieger already at that point, or were you just you understood?
No, I mean, I discovered the history of the brand prior to me. Okay. And so I think that's because I opened my bar and invested basically the way
okay.
And then went on to open up the restaurant bigger than a lot of these things. But it was in that process of being in that role and researching the history of that building was when I discovered the history of JRieger. So I didn't know anything about JRieger before that. Right. I was just I want to know as much about my own space as possible. And so it was in that process that I learned about it. And so I think I met Andy probably 6 months or so after I discovered the history of the brand. And so at that point I was already very, very deep into learning about it, seeing how it models.
You bought into it.
Yeah, in fact, the first time he came in, the first time I met him, he saw on the wall in the reader I had old photos and some of the old ads and things like that. And so noticed right away that I had this appreciation of the history of the brand and the name. Came back the next night and bought me some more stuff, some other old photos that he had from his family and gave them to me to have to watch.
Cool. Yeah. So you talked him into the rebirth. Eventually, you talked him into it. You got in touch with all the right people, all the skill set, all the basic checkpoints. But this isn't cheap. I'm sure. No, that's just not cheap. So when you did it, what was just straight up American whiskey?
The first release in 2014, we released our Kansas City whiskey in October of 2014.
Okay.
the story, but it's important to, our identity and who we are.
Exactly.
And so, once I got Evie on board, and we were both committed to making this thing work, we had to ask ourselves, well, what is going to be our first product? We knew that JRieger company was primarily a whiskey producer, so we obviously wanted to bring back the famous whiskey, but we also knew that if we're going to start making whiskey, we're going to wait 5-6 years before it's actually worth putting in the bottle and releasing. So we started at a time when the whole craft whiskey, craft American market was really growing. Okay. Right, so there's always like new startup little micro distilleries that becoming a very popular thing. We were definitely part of that wave. Yeah. And the way that you start something like that is you're just going from scratch instead of waiting 5 or 6 years before you actually have a product to sell. Who has the financial ability to actually do that? Right. The way that you started by sourcing, you buy barrels from another large distillery in bulk, and then you put it in your bottle with your label on it, and start your brand that way. And hopefully, you're also building your distillery at the same time and planning for 5, 8, 10 years down the road. You eventually can roll into 100% production. So that was the model that we started with. Right. Now, a lot of banks are very, very, very high. Yeah. So, and especially around that time, so like US and Walls and Templeton, Angleton, I mean, those all started right around the same time.
Well, that same contract.
Yeah, and they're all buying a lot of whiskey in the same place. I know, right? They're all running these different models. So we could go and we're actually going to make a model, right? It would have been easy for us to just say, all right, let's go find some barrels of bourbon and let's go. We actually took a much more difficult path of doing that. And the reason is that I really, really, really wanted to make sure that we were paying tribute to the history of I had become very obsessed with about the identity of June and all things that I was doing in the United States back then. And I wanted to truly understand what the whiskey was. Okay. Right? And what's really fascinating is you look around here and you look at all the colors and you look at all the forms and things like that. At the height of our popularity prior to Prohibition, I mean, we had dozens of whiskeys that were sold. But there was one very, very common type of whiskey that is notably absent. And that's bourbon. We didn't make bourbon back then. We had all these different types of whiskey. We had Monogram was our primary, brand of whiskey. Okay. You know what Monogram is?
Monogram?
I don't know what it is. That's the point. It's like nobody knows what it means within the context of it being a type of whiskey, right?
Right.
It just means like signature.
I'm thinking branded.
But what does that mean, right? And so we have all these like other ways of labeling our products, like 1875 brand, 1888 brand, and using words and phrases like extra fine, which doesn't have any actual meaning today. Right. I don't know exactly what they meant by that then, but that's what I wanted to understand. And so we really tried to, we did a lot of soul research trying to figure out what was real whiskey, and if all possible, we created something as close to that as we possibly could. So, yeah, I mean, we didn't have a particular recipe. Okay. We didn't even have a recipe, and because there was, because there was no actual legal regulation or process for regulation, regulatory agencies, licenses, there's no documentation.
Well, before the problem.
Correct. And so unless something is handed down from one generation to the next, and the seventh generation, unless you've got that, then you don't really know exactly what you're making. So we took a lot of historic research, just trying to find clues and put together the pieces of this puzzle to figure that out. Now, one person that is very, very important to the resurrection of the name is Dave Pickle. If you're not familiar with him, he was the master distiller of Maker's Mark for 14 years, and he brought Maker's Mark around 2009, around the same time that I started making Queso, started some consulting business, and a lot of press, a lot of tests and consulting. But I had met Dick around 2010, so it's probably the same time that Andy And one thing we knew for sure was that
I do notice though that the suction pool over here, that is called the pickle suction.
it is. I mean, we've got a tribute to him here. He is, unfortunately, he is a very, very
Okay.
reaper. And so one thing that Vic and I knew for sure was that prior to Prohibition, only roughly 15 or so percent of American whiskey was meant for at the time. The rest were not. And that's what brands, right? It was very, very common for brands like JRieger Company to purchase and swap barrels of other distilleries in Kentucky, Indiana, Maryland, Virginia, places like that, and make their own proprietary wines. And that's how they end up with things like labels that say monogram or wine or whatever, without really knowing exactly what's in it. It's proprietary wine. So we said, half of what we're going to do, let's go down, let's journey down one instead of just doing a straight bourbon bottle. Let's build a plan. Right. And so we went through a lot of different iterations of blend. We ultimately landed on is the blend of 3 different whiskeys, all sorts of different topics, blending them together. Using light corn whiskey, which is its own designated category American whiskey. Straight dry, which we were buying barrels. We were buying barrels from originally from Alberta, so the same distillery this came from. So we were literally like we were putting this in our initial bottles. And then straight bourbon was the last component of that. So those 3 whiskeys went together, so light corn, straight rye, and straight bourbon. So I was taking these whiskeys to the whiskey sample that we were getting and running together different variations of different percentages, doing it in different groups, and then taking those samples out and testing people I respected in the industry, bartenders, other experts in the industry, blind tasting them, and having them meet. And in July of 2013, we were getting really close to getting a recipe set, and I went down to New Orleans in July of 13 and met Vic at the Carousel Bar in the French Quarter, really beautiful historic bar. And we sat there at the bar making glasses with the bartender, for sample, tasting it, and we both really liked it, but I was hesitant to say, yes, this is it. This is Rieger whiskey, let's go. And Vic was like, well, what do you think it's missing? And I really didn't. I had no idea. It's just hard to get to that point where you're 100% confident and say that's it, And so he had on his phone, he had saved the beverage alcohol manual, the document on the DTD that governs all of spirit production in the United States, all the opening laws, all that stuff, right? Whereas prior to Prohibition, there was nothing, and now there's like thousands of pages of regulations you have to follow. And so he pulls that out, and we're reading through, we're going through the section on whiskey and subcategories of whiskey. And keep in mind that most of these laws were written early in 1934. So right during Prohibition was repealed. The federal government had to issue this guideline in the states. These are the basic laws. Now there's all those laws have been changed since then, but they were established in 1934.
You take it from then to this day.
They still do. And so we're reading through this stuff, and we get to a chapter on harmless coloring and additives for whiskey. And I'm like, okay, let's stop there. I'm not interested in, olive oil or sugar or anything like this. And at the time, this is again 2013, there were some notable brands in the industry that were doing this. They were adding sugar, adding coloring, and it was causing some issues in the industry, and I just wasn't interested in that. We can just stop there. But Vic was like, well, let's read through it again, just to see. And so we read through the chapter just to get an understanding of it. At the very bottom, there's 2 sentences at the very bottom of that section that jump out at me. And it said, through established trade practice, it's customary to add up to 2.5% sherry into American whiskey. Now, this was written in 1934, and there were 2 things that really caught my eye on this. One, it said specifically sherry. Sherry is a very, very specific type of fortified wine from a very, very tiny part of Spain, in the southwestern part of Spain. it very easily could have said wine, it could have said fortified wine, it could have said fruit, brandy, it could have said all these different things, but it specifically said sherry. And I thought that was really fascinating. And what even made it more big balls, I can understand why, how it happened, at least why I think it happened. But what gave it even more weight was that it said through established trade practice. Now remember, this was written in 1934, right after we had just ended 14 years of prohibition. Right. So it could not have been established trade practice when the trade was illegal, right? It must have been established prior to. Yeah. And now all of a sudden I'm thinking, what if Rieger was doing this? What if we were adding sherry to our whiskey because it was a common practice in the blended whiskey before prohibition? Right. And I got really excited about it and started that kind of changed the direction of our research to find out how sherry became a prominent part of American whiskey, which we discovered. And it's really incredible just how profound and prolific of a practice this was.
Now, are you adding sherry into it?
Yes.
Okay.
This is not investment.
Okay,
this is an adding sherry to
Okay, because my knowledge from Scotch, that's where they age it in.
And they still do.
Okay, all right. Now I see the difference. All right.
And so we found this really amazing ad in 1901, and they've got it all on. So I keep pointing to it. Here's some out of that stuff. But
this is an incredible setup, by the way. If you want to know a lot about JRieger history, Kansas City, role in all of this, come here. Make tour. Exactly.
So we found this incredible ad from 1901, and it was in an importer's trade catalog from New York in 1901. Right. It was a half-page ad taken out by a company called Gonzalez by Us in Spain. So Gonzalez by Us was then and is still today one of the largest sherry producers in Spain. Okay. They create their most famous brand is Teal Sherry, which is world renowned. They had this ad in this trade publication targeting specifically American whiskey producers to buy their sherry in bulk, and said literally in the ad, it has been used for years by America's top whiskey producers and has always been the ideal candidate.
Hey.
And I'm like,
there's a market for it, why not?
There's the smoking gun right there.
Yeah.
And so that is what we decided to do. And so we went to Sarraf, the hotel in Spain, where sherry is produced, and met with multiple wineries there, and brought back many samples, and eventually narrowed it down to this really amazing 15-year-old Rosso sherry from a winery called New Zealand, that we still work with to this day. And we ended up adding just a little under 2% of their 15-year-old Rosso sherry to that blended whiskey that I referenced earlier as Ben.
That number said you're up. Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Well, now today it is that. So at that point, that recipe, first thing you have to submit the formula.
Right.
And then let's formula if there's any on the label. Right. So we submitted our recipe. We got remember 3 different recipes. We got like one whiskey, we got straight dry and straight wort. Right. And then strength percent, and then just a little bit under 2% of 15-year-old. Okay. And remember the law says you can have up to 2.5, 1.5 is the max. Yeah. We ended up at like right around. Right. So we submit our formula, our recipe, and they rejected it. They picked it back to us and they said we can't do this. And we're like, well, what do you mean you can't do it? You can't do what? They said, well, you've added sherry to it, so you can't classify it as whiskey. You have to submit it under the classification category known as a distilled specialty spirit. And we said, well, that's not what your law says. Right. And they said, what law? And they didn't know.
Yeah, okay.
So we had to point out that law that we found, stating that through established trade practice, you could blend up to 2.5% sharing. It's right there. Yeah. You know, they didn't know. So they had no context for it. And so they're like, I guess you can. Yeah. And so, okay, you can. But you can't call it anything but whiskey because under the subcategory space, you've got all your your bourbon and rye and blends and corn and wheat and all these other subcategories, you know, with their own definitions. And our recipe didn't fit into any of them. Our recipe doesn't even fit into your standard blended definition, right? Okay, yeah. So we didn't have any other any subcategories. So they said, if you do it, then you just have to put whiskey in it. Just whiskey, right? Now at first, my thinking was like, okay, that's fine, because looking at all the historic bottles, that's what we have. We have Riegers, monograms, right? Okay. And so I was at first okay with it, but then I thought about it for a second and said, well, wait a minute. Obviously, nobody else is doing this because you didn't even know that this law exists. Right. So no one else in the country is doing it. Right? Okay. Second, we are resurrecting this old brand from the time period prior to Prohibition, when this was an established method of whiskey making, and we're bringing this style back in Kansas City. So would it be okay if we call it Kansas City whiskey as a style? Right. We put that on, and they said yes. And so that's how we're going to be called Kansas City whiskey. But the beauty of it is that it doesn't just simply reference the fact that we're a Kansas City whiskey, right? But it references the actual recipe of the wine that's in the box. Okay. Okay, all right. And then, of course, you mentioned the label. I know that you take years, I just want to get through. I'll talk to a lot of small producers, different and yeah, they all sort of think okay. All right, so in that resurrected brand, came up with the recipe, started aging them, either contract or whatever. So are you producing all of the individual yes, products? Correct. You're doing it all now yourself. So yeah, so like from the time that we started, except for the sherry. Well, yeah, obviously the sherry. That can't come from you until right here. Has to come from that. So you know, we released the Kansas City whiskey in October of 2014. Before we even had the stills built, right? Because we were reversing the But as soon as we got the stills up and running, which were, that was like around the summer of 15, so 7 or 8 months later, something like that, we started producing those three components, right? Okay. With the intention of replacing, you know, the stuff, the sourcing stuff eventually. Right. So we started producing rye and white which we still do to this day now, 11 later. So, to get us to like where we are now, we did not release any additional whiskey outside of Kansas City whiskey until our juice was ready. So we didn't like immediately come out with a bourbon, you know, that was from MGP or something like that. Right. We waited until our bourbon was fully mature. We held ourselves to the standard of saying we're going to wait a minimum to consider it. Right. We actually ended up waiting until we were 6. The first time we released it, we released 6 years old. Or the same thing with the pot. Okay. Right? Okay. And we also, over that time period, over those years, ramped up our production to what we have now. In the early days, I think the first year that we were in business, we were laying down like 200 barrels, and now we're aiming for like 2,000 barrels a year. Okay. So we dramatically increased our production output so that we can make sure that all the juices are out. Now, in the Kansas City whiskey bottle, because there are those three components, we have now shifted away from any source whiskey on rye and all rye and light are. We are still using a little bit of bourbon, source bourbon in the blend alongside ours. Right. So there's a little bit of source bourbon in that volume, but everything else that we do is 100% our own juice, including the bourbon beer, the rye, the system we have for this, and any other volumes that we use. We're actually getting close to releasing some more bourbons that are 8+ years old. All right. Okay. All right. So you're harking back to what was originally made, the whiskey, harking back to bringing the brand back. Now we're going to touch on what I'd like to touch on a little bit. Manifest speakeasy. Manifest speakeasy. How did that come about? Well, I was a bartender.
Right.
I started bartending in 1999. Was at Coupons Community Station. I was really lucky to get to work in a really beautiful high-end steakhouse in a very historic part of Kansas City. So that I think that helped me gain an appreciation um, not just for high-end hospitality and working behind a beautiful bar, and also gaining appreciation for Kansas City culture and history. And so it didn't take me long. I was working there for about 5 years. It didn't take me long to figure out that this is what I wanted to do the rest of my life. Like I knew that I would
Be in it.
not just to be in the industry, but to own my own bar. That became my goal. I'd say by the time I was 24 or so, I decided like I wanted to own my own bar and restaurant. I just loved it. I really loved bartending. I loved the culture, the industry, everything about it, and it became my goal to own my own bar. So started setting out towards it. Now, actually, Manifesto was the second bar that I opened. Opened the wine bar first in 2006. So it was very early to the crossroads when it comes to the development of the scene today.
Right.
So when I opened JP Wine Bar, it was very, very little in the neighborhood. There just wasn't a whole lot there, but I knew that the Swift Center, which is now Mobile Center, was being owned. I knew that the Commonwealth District was investing in downtown district, and I felt like there was going to be residual benefit to the surrounding neighborhoods, not just throughout the crossroads, but all of the kind of gritty, artistic, independent culture.
Okay.
Yeah. So I opened JP Wine in 2006 at 16th and Walnut. It's now Canyon Wine Bar. Familiar with that? And
No, not.
yeah, so it's now Canyon. It looks pretty much like what it was when I went to it.
Okay.
2 years into that, in 2008, I had this idea for the speakeasy style cocktail bar. And so my business partner at JP's and I went our separate ways, and so I shared her and took what we were money at home and started working on Manifesto, which ended up just a perfect location in the basement of an old hotel, an old hotel building.
Okay.
And that's how Manifesto started.
Okay. Okay.
No,
You're all that you have here.
we have a bar in our basement called JRieger, which is inspired by Manifesto.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
That's how I discovered the history of JRieger, because I was in the hotel.
Right. Okay.
Without knowing at the time, like I just that was the right spot for Manifesto.
Okay.
And it just helps.
Okay. So, all right. So, Manifesto is in the old building. We follow the history there. Came here, started in May.
Many years later,
Obviously. Yes. And that's all easy.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, the Hey Club takes a lot of inspiration from Manifesto. Manifesto is like, one of the early pseudo speakeasies in the United States.
Okay.
Where we kind of played off of prohibitionary themes and everything. But it was very literal in the sense that it was like an entrance into an alley and a sign, and it was, it felt very mysterious, and it felt like I actually wanted guests coming to Manifesto to feel like that was one of my early
that would be appropriate.
mantras. Like I wanted to create this. I wanted people to have the experience before they even got to the room.
Okay.
Right? And I wanted them to feel like this sense of anxiety or excitement or adrenaline, right? From just hearing about it, how you hear about it, how you find out about it, what leads you to that unmarked, back alley. There's no password, but it was all secret text message at the time.
Okay.
So you had text message reservation and everything. So it was very intentional when it was designed around creating that mystique. Now, Hey Club is not necessarily that, because there's an aspect of that thing that happened back in the early aughts, right? That is now kind of lost a little bit. We've gone past that a little bit, right? So we don't do exactly what we do at Hey Club, but it is a basement cocktail lounge, bespoke cocktails, really beautiful lounge space. carry on the hospitality.
Right. Ideas for later when we back up the stream. All right. So hey, Brian, I really appreciate this, and I love the history of everything. Yeah. Here, many years of
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I told you that man, major historian. He could do a full
yeah,
college semester just on JRieger and what he knows.
it's amazing what one person's brain can just hold. It's
I know.
insane.
Yeah, I know. You know, I really wanted to get into the speakeasy aspect of it, the prohibition aspect of it. He knew it. He knew it all.
That's awesome.
I was thoroughly impressed. No, I did not talk much about his current product right now. And that wasn't the purpose of it. Like I've said before, the show is not to tell you about what people are making and this and that. It's about the other aspects of the world of whiskey. But yeah, he's smart. He is super, super smart.
Well, I mean, going to the whole smart thing, they are the first people to create Kansas City whiskey.
Yes,
That's wild.
it is. And how he did it, whenever they were going for the labels, and I know he mentioned this in the video, he went for the labels to get done, which I have a story about labels here, just a little bit. He submitted it. They originally said, no, you can't say Kansas City whiskey. There's no such thing. So they said, just say whiskey. He had to come back. He had to work it again and try to figure out how to make it uniquely theirs. And he came back to them and said, hey, what if I just add this to it? That changes everything about it. Can we then call it Kansas City whiskey? And they were like, yes, you can, because it is now uniquely yours. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that he created something. He just used his brain. Like, this man has got like a brain of gold.
He does.
Like just his knowledge, his brilliance. It's just another level.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And so, as he mentioned before in that video, that was not their original building. Their original building was down on the West Bottoms part of Kansas City. And I went to go visit there. They since demolished that area and redone it all. It's now like a big old business park. They do still have the stock exchange out there. But the other old style buildings where the speakeasies were, the establishments of ill repute were during that time frame, especially during the temperance movement. So yeah, all of that's gone. But whenever they tore down that original building and were going to build the new buildings that are there, the construction company that was doing it, they found some of the original tile flooring that was in the original JRieger, and they said, hey, do you guys want this? And of course, both Brian and Alex both immediately jumped at it, got it.
Wow.
I'll see if I can find some photos or some additional videos on that and be able to share it with everybody. But yeah, it was.
That's amazing, because especially for Alex, I'm sure that was just like so sentimental. Even though he's generations apart from it.
Yes.
It's his history.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is.
History's huge.
Yeah.
That's his history.
Yeah, it's crazy. And what is it? It's great grandson of the original Jacob Rieger.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and again, as I said, there's other aspects of how I believe it's inside. I have to go back and look at the video, get the name right. It's only my fourth pour during this video, during this recording. So come on, give me a break.
I wasn't saying anything.
So whenever Prohibition hit, they went and they diversified. Econolodge. Everybody knows Econolodge.
Right.
That's a descendant from JRieger. That company. A mercantile exchange. Everybody knows that. That's a descendant from JRieger. So there's other name brands that are out there that people didn't know.
Right.
So yeah,
Well, it doesn't say
there's
Rieger.
history. It doesn't say Rieger. Right.
Yeah, so why would you wouldn't put that together?
Right. Right.
Not
Agreed.
unless you were a historian.
Right. Exactly. So let me just bottom line it. If you're ever in Kansas City, go over there to the East Bottoms portion of Kansas City. Go visit the JRieger distillery or JRieger and Company distillery. They have a great restaurant on the second floor called Monogram. They got an actual speakeasy in the basement that's open a couple nights a week, I think it is. I didn't get to go in, unfortunately. Their tours are amazing. You do get to go in there. You get to go and see the two copper stills that they have. And their history or their heritage section. That was shown in the video. Oh my God, just amazing.
Yeah, sounds great. Really sounds like it was a great time.
Yeah. But that is not the end of my adventures. I have another one coming up, and this kind of goes back to the whole labeling aspect that I was hinting at before. So Mike Rowland has struck again. A very dear friend of ours, a brother of ours. You may know him on TikTok and Instagram, Frankie Bourbon. He has fallen ill. I won't go into specifics. It's a private matter. But Mike has arranged for us to go to the World Whiskey Society up in Pendergrass, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta, just north of it, and do a barrel pick for him as part of the Whiskey Warriors Barrel Club. And we will buy all the bottles internally within the club, and we will, all the proceeds go towards helping Frankie with his life-changing event. So, and we this past week have been working with Alex Kogan, Koga and Kogan, on creating the label, and that's an experience. By the way, if you're into arts, doing artsy fartsy stuff, that's an experience, because there are certain things you have to have on all the labels on the bottle, because there's got to be truth to advertising. You got to have the government warning, you got to have the UPC code, you got to have the number of years it is aged, which if it doesn't have it on there, it is a minimum of 4 years. So this is at least 4 years old. Normally they do put it on the bottles. I don't know why they don't. But anyhow, they also, one thing that we are going to do with this particular bottle, since it's a barrel pick, we're putting the mash bill on it as well. And so whatever we pick, it could be Kentucky straight bourbon, it could be American light whiskey, it could be a American single malt. He will have a hazmat American single malt barrel there waiting for us to try.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So something tells you where I'm going with that one. Those others have really got to really be kicking in order for me not to pick that American single malt barrel. As my preference. But it's a group pick. We do have to look at it as a group pick. We have to look at it, what will sell.
Yes.
So not just to us, because we will buy more than once and then share them with others, because I know Sam. I know I said I would pick one up for you. So we will. So that's been a heck of an experience. And so that will be in our next episode. And what I'm hoping for is I can get Alex. Alex is one of the bigwigs, if not the owner of World Whiskey Society, to come in and talk and see how, just what we just did with Prav, see how he got involved with Mike Rowland and see what else he's doing with him. Again, this is all part of the different tentacles of the world of whiskey that we live in, and we are, enthusiasts of. So, anyhow, so that's what's coming up. And I know I promised in an early episode we would not talk about us doing barrel picks. This is something different, though. This is not just doing a barrel pick to sell at a liquor store. This is a charitable issue.
And this is for someone that means something to us.
Yes, exactly.
Frankie is an amazing, amazing human, and we have got to rally together for him. We need to fight for him, and we need to help him any way we can.
And he's never down. he is always upbeat, lively.
Yes.
Always.
I love him. I love him.
So yeah, that's why we're doing it.
Right. And Frankie means so much to so many people in this community. He's just, he's like a bright, shining star. And
Yes.
he's just, he's Frankie.
He is. And he's always upbeat. I never see the man down.
Yes. So
Always.
we definitely need to rally for this man. We need to show him the love that he shows everybody every day.
Every day. Every day.
Every day.
And so that'll be part of the next episode. That will be, hopefully I can get Alex, who is co-owner, one of the owners of World Whiskey Society, and come join us, just like what we did with Prav Sarraf here, and see how he got involved with Mike Rowland and see what else he's doing with Mike. So that's the next episode.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yep. Thank you, Sam.
Absolutely.
All right, and I know I'll see you on TikTok later. So,
yes, sir.
All right. Bye, Sam. Bye, guys.